Good evening and welcome to King Arena for this Wheaton Thunder Sports Network broadcast. My name is Andrew Pitkin alongside Hannah Japp. This broadcast is produced by Sunrise Communication. Tonight's game is the 34th meeting in women's basketball between Wheaton College and Chicago. Wheaton owns a 21-12 series advantage and has won the last 4 meetings. It was last season that Wheaton defeated Chicago 76-60 in Chicago. Kelly Lawson scored 18 points, had 9 rebounds for the Thunder. Maggie Dansdale also added 10 points, and so far this season, Wheaton's done pretty well at what they usually do, taking care of the ball and also dishing out passes with a 5th in the nation assist-to-turnover ratio of 1.6.
Yes. Also looking at our players tonight, looking at the leading scorers, Hannah Frazier's having a great season so far, averaging 16 points, and she's mostly been doing that in the paint, short ball 2-pointers, because she only has 1 3-pointer on the season, but she's doing a great job keeping control underneath the net. Maggie Dansdale's also having a great season with 14.7 points. Devin Kyler's having a nice season too, 10.3. So 3 Thunder players averaging in the double digits for points per game. Devin Kyler is actually doing really well both at 3-pointers and underneath the hoop. She currently is hitting .625 from 3 and .565 from overall. So we're seeing some nice things from the Thunder. We'll be looking at some good points too from University of Chicago with Mira Farrell, Taylor Lake, and Olarichi Obi. Seeing that Taylor Lake leads the University of Chicago with 14.8 points per game. She had 17 against the double overtime victory over Carthage. Mia Farrell is averaging 13. She had I believe she had 13 points against the overtime win too, and also we also want to look at from 3 with Miranda Burt. She currently is hitting 10 for 22 from 3, so the Thunder will keep an eye out for her. And we'll be now taking it to the floor.
Yeah, now we're going to send it down to the floor for Rusty Lindsay to give us the starting lineups and the national anthem.
Number 24, 5'9" senior from Wheaton, and number 34, 6'2" sophomore from Frazier.
And we're back here at the media table again. My name's Andrew Pitkin alongside Hannah Japp. And Hannah, going back to last season, UChicago's 6-4 against ranked opponents. The point differential in those 10 games is plus 81 in their favor.
Wow.
So certainly a team that shows up to play ranked teams. Wheaton this week, the D3 poll, the first remade poll after the preseason one, now at the 23rd spot. The Maroons ready to show up for that.
Also, the Maroons I think they recently came out of the top 25, but beginning of the season they were also ranked 23rd in D3. So we'll be seeing a pretty good matchup tonight with a top 25 and an almost ranked top 25.
The only common opponent is Lake Forest between these two, which each team beat by double digits. This one was won by UChicago. Quick jump shot here. Off the back iron, then back up by number 11, Taylor Lake. The sophomore averaging 14.8 points per game this season.
Now Taylor Lake is having a nice season. We see most of her points are coming from two-point shots, such as layups in the paint, because she only has 3 3-pointers on the season. So the Thunder will have to keep track of her underneath the hoop.
Ola Obi fixing her shoe there. Now she's back in. Obi so far this season 7th in the nation for total rebounds. She's got 59. There's Dansdale underneath. Ties it up at 2.
That was a classic Maggie Dansdale shot. Nice layup underneath the paint.
Hard worker down there. Now the ball with Kokenmeister. Kokenmeister still. Obi driving left by Frazier. Gets it over. Couple of early quick buckets for the Maroons. Kicked out to Devin Kyler. Now Lawson. Over to Dansdale. Couldn't make that one though. Pushing the pace is Farrell. There's Burt floating to the side, and the Maroons 3 for 3 to start off this game.
Yeah, the Maroons are coming out strong to begin with 3 buckets already. Usually with Miranda, we'll see some 3-pointers, probably more likely later on. But to begin with, the Maroons are going with 2-pointers.
Devin Kyler with the layup there. Her first 2 points of the game. And the pace continues at this rate as Obi's blocked. Tipped out by Dansdale. Rebounded by Kokenmeister, but if scoring continues at this rate, we could be looking at a pretty high-scoring game.
Very high-scoring game.
Here's a deep shot from Burton, no good. Actually, Burt, sorry. Now Myroth the other way. Tried to kick it out to Frazier, taken away by Obi, passed in to some traffic, and Farrell has it. Back to Burt. She shoots another 3, high arcing off the side of the rim, out of bounds.
Now we're seeing University of Chicago going out toward the 3 to get some points for instead of underneath the rim.
Maroons now 3 for 6 on the day. Made their first 3, have missed their last 3 as Dansdale shoots a 3-pointer, got it.
Nice shot by Dansdale from the top of the key to get her 3rd 3-pointer on the season.
The Maroons taking very quick shots in possession, a lot of times within the first 10 or 15 seconds. This one over to Obi. She's doubled quickly. Kick out to Farrell for 3. Hits. Mia Farrell in the corner. Kelly Lawson, the other side, met by Obi on the double team. Kicks over to Frazier. Now Dansdale Outside to Frazier, switch pass to Lawson for three. No good, rebounded. And they're going to say it was off of Obi. That was a tough one to tell there. Early substitution for the Maroons into the game is number 22, Elizabeth Nye, out of Chicago, Illinois. Jordan Myroth driving into the lane, flips it up, and it goes down.
Nice play by the Thunder run there with Myroth coming in, going through traffic to get the 2 points.
Also into the game is number 4, Madison Dunbar. Switch over to Dunbar, but picked off by Dansdale. Good recovery defense. And they're able to stop her. Devin Kyler, another floater. That's pretty much what we've seen to start this game for both teams.
Both teams just taking it to the hoop, getting a few points at a time.
Deep shot, no good for Taylor Lake that time. Another turnover for the Thunder. Here comes Dunbar. Lake looking for an option. Good denial defense by Dansdale. Farrell eventually gets past, and she's fouled from behind. So the first free throws of the game for the Maroons.
Yeah, actually, if you wanted to have, for the Maroons, have someone at the free throw line, you want Mia Farrell because she's shooting 929 from the free throw line.
Yeah, stunning 93% for her. That's 15th in the nation. Rather, 15th in the nation free throws made. She's got 26, so she's made a lot, been to the line a lot, made 93% of them.
That will help boost your points per game because she's second on the team with 13 points per game. And also interesting enough, the Maroons have played 2 more games than the Thunder have so far, with a record of 3-2.
And the Thunder, all of them at home, as Jill Berg puts that one in. Good find from Myroth. Up-tempo, high-scoring game as we're 5 minutes into this one, 13-11 in favor of the Thunder over the Maroons. Dunbar driving on Myroth, kicks out to O'Hara, and O'Hara lost it on her own. This one over to Jen Berg, down to her sister Jill. Quickly guarded there. Good defense from Eigenbohr. Here's Jill Berg finding a pass to Kelly Lawson underneath.
Nice job by Jill Berg. She was covered fairly well, and she saw that Kelly Lawson was coming underneath the basket. Nice pass to Lawson to get her first 2 points of the game.
Dunbar for three, no good. Tipped out of bounds by the Maroons. First substitution, not the first substitution, third substitution for the Thunder. Erica Van Duzen coming into the game, giving Devin Kyler a break. And Van Duzen, just a sophomore on this team, but already seeing very important minutes early on in games off the bench. This one down to Lawson, and she's able to get the bucket and the foul. There's Christy Dembski checking into the game for Jordan Myroth. So now the only starter still on the floor for the Thunder is Kelly Lawson. Under 6 minutes into the game. That's the type of depth that this Thunder team has this season.
Probably also giving some starters a break because this has been a very intense game so far with 17 to 11.
Here's Obi. Handoff to Burt. Floater over Lawson, a very capable defender and a good finish from the sophomore. Down low to Jill Berg. Kelly Lawson for 3 hits. Something Kelly Lawson has been better at so far this season is spreading that floor to the 3-point line. She's shooting over 30% from there. Here's Burt. Driving on Lawson, kicks over and stolen away by Jen Berg. Pass up to Dembski. Stopped by Burt. Now she needs to find a pass. Kelly Lawson back cutting, and she's got the layup. Thunder now up by 9. O'Hara into the lane, and they get her for a travel. Well, any coach will take 22 points in a quarter. Thunder of 22 with 3 minutes left, looking to add to it.
Yeah, very nice high-scoring game. Kelly Lawson already has 9 points, and we're not even done with the first quarter.
Lawson, one of those players, certainly a leader in many ways as a senior on this team, also a returning all-CCIW player, but just 9.3 points per game, not necessarily disappointing when you look at Hannah Frazier, Maggie Dansdale, and Devin Kyler being the players above her. This one's stolen by Ola Obi off the inbounds. Now Burt into the lane and tipped out of bounds by Jill Berg. The point guard Farrell to take this one out of bounds. Nice find there to Taylor Lake as they ran the play to perfection. See here, Farrell inbound to Lake.
Yeah, at first it looked like Thunder had pretty good coverage then. Farrell was able to just get open right underneath the basket for a nice easy 2 points.
Berg picks up her dribble 30 feet from the basket, and now she's in trouble. Passes to her sister Jen. Van Dusen into the lane. Couldn't finish, rebound by Burt. Deep shot there, good. Number 34, Kokenmeister.
Very nice shot by Kokenmeister. Honestly, that was a very quick play. Like the Thunder weren't even set on their defense before they shot the ball.
Dembski for 3, couldn't get it to go. Now Kokenmeister pushing the pace the other way. Stops on a dime. Couldn't hit it though. Rebound by Lake. Back to Kokenmeister. Now Farrell for 3. Off the other side of the rim. And out of bounds. The Maroons get 5 really quickly there. Now the margin just in favor of the Thunder by 4. Devin Kyler guarded by Lake. Jen Berg gets into the lane. Tried to get it to Jill, but tipped out of bounds by Farrell.
We've seen a few passes like that from the Thunder so far in this game. Just in traffic, very just kind of narrow margin to hopefully get to the person. We've seen it successful a few times, but there are a few times where the Maroons will be able to touch it.
The Maroons finding good defensive position as there's a foul here on number 2, Mia Farrell. Clearly a point of emphasis as the Thunder are always trying to pass it down low into the lane to teammates that are cutting. And the Maroons are able to see that. Devin Kyler found some space as she might have pushed Lake over, no call. And then Jill Berg unable to finish underneath, rebound by Ola Obi. Dunbar. Kokenmeister. That one tipped away by Dansdale into the scorer's table, and the Maroons retain possession. Only 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Farrell driving on Dansdale. She's going to have to put it up. She didn't know it. And it's a 30-second shot clock violation. So now the Thunder have a 9.4 second differential between game and shot clock.
That's been pretty difficult for the Thunder with their defense, trying to be able to put a lot of pressure on their opponent to try to find something open. But usually it takes so much time there be able to have a few times have the shot clock run down.
Myroth into the lane, floater. Couldn't get to go, rebounded by Jill Berg. Goes back up with it over Obi. Now the Maroons have a chance to take the last shot of the quarter. Obi with it with 8 seconds. Handoff, pass rather to Lake. Into the lane, over Jen Berg, good. Myroth ends up just dribbling this one out, and at the end of one, the Thunder are winning 24-20 over the Maroons. Well, so far it's been an up-tempo game for each team, as the Maroons, who came out firing 3 for 3 at the beginning, then went a little bit cold, 0 for 3 to go 3 for 6. But the Thunder shooting a red-hot 61% from the field, and the UChicago Maroons 50%, not too bad themselves.
Not too bad. Actually, if we look on the season overall for University of Chicago, they points per game, they average 74.6 points per game. The Thunder average 80.3, so both teams are very high scoring. With their opponents in previous games, University of Chicago only allows 63, and the Thunder only allow 55. So we have two highly offensive teams, and also pretty good defense with both. But so far the offense is taking over for both sides, because the game's only separated by 4 points.
Yeah, and for each side, I could think of some shots that they would probably usually make. There's one down low for Jill Berg that she didn't end up putting in. Some floaters on this side for the Maroons, but for the most part, almost everything going down. Some of the scoring leaders, Kelly Lawson with 9, Maggie Dansdale 5, Devin Kyler with 4, and then Mia Farrell has 5 points. Taylor Lake with 6 underneath. Skip here to Dansdale. She's got a 3 in the game already. This one too far. Tried to be saved by Lawson, but good shield by Taylor Lake, so she couldn't save it. Dansdale from three-point range has been pretty hit and miss so far this season. When she's on, she's good, but sometimes shoots ones like that. That one well off for Farrell. Lawson with the rebound. This one down low to Frazier, and she's fouled by Ola Obi. Really good find there from Lawson to get it to Frazier down low under the basket.
Very good. Also looking at with Hannah Frazier at the line, looking at her stats from the charity line, she's hitting 90% so far, 9 out of 10. So usually if you want to have someone going to the free throw line, you want her.
Yeah, her only miss, I believe, was the first attempt she ever took as a Wheaton Thunder player. Since then, she's made her last 11 free throws. That one tipped out of bounds by Dansdale, stays with the Maroons. Something we've certainly become accustomed to the last 2-3 years. Coach Madsen always has players that are able to disrupt passing around the perimeter. Here's Dunbar. Lake into the lane around Devin Kyler. Couldn't finish it, rebounded by Lawson. Lawson working on Kokenmeister. Now she's unguarded. Kokenmeister recovers. Ill-advised pass there as Frazier didn't quite have position on Obi. Dunbar stopped by Kyler. Up top to Lake, driving on Lawson, gets around her, little victory lap and finishes. Lake early on in this game with 8 points. Blocked from behind, and they're going to get a foul actually on number 11, Lake. I thought that was pretty clean, but when you're coming from behind, you have to make sure you don't get any of the body. That foul just Lake's first of the game. Back into the game is Burt, as well as number 22, Elizabeth Nye. Dansdale makes the second. Here's Burt. Thought about the three, now driving toward the center. Lake. Now Burt into the lane again, stopped again. Lake again trying to drive, gets around Kyler, blocked away. And a jump ball underneath. Possession arrow stays with the Maroons. And that's such great positioning by the Thunder underneath. They've got such tall players, but at the same time, you got to be in the right position to make the play, and their help defense was perfect with three defenders there. Burt for three, partially blocked by Lawson, and no rim on that one. So they'll have to take it out of bounds.
Also, I believe the shot clock expired again for the Maroons. Something interesting looking at so far, like you said earlier, the Maroons, at the beginning of the game, they had 3 straight baskets from 2 points, but then they started switching to trying to get 3-pointers, and they're only hitting 28.6 from 3. Actually 25% now from 3. So they're having more success driving to the basket versus outside the 3-point line.
The ball with Lake into the lane, wraparound pass to Nye for 3. Couldn't hit it. And a rebounding offensive foul. See who it goes against here. It is against Ola Obi. And she's got 2 early fouls in this one, so she's going to have to take a seat as Marissa Eigenbohr takes her place. That's a big loss for this team. Ola Obi this season, she's first in her conference for rebounds per game with 11.8. Also offensive rebounds per game with 5.4. Dansdale down low to Frazier. Frazier's got a size advantage on Eigenbohr, but Dansdale goes around Dunbar off the glass.
And with that basket from Dansdale, she's currently tied with Kelly Lawson at 9 points on this game.
Here's Burt. Into the lane. Frazier got a little bit of her hand, not contesting the call. So Miranda Burt, sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee, to the line.
Looking at on the Maroons roster from the three-point line, from the free throw line, I mean, Miranda Burt is hitting about 81.8% from the free throw line, so they have very good success, along with Nia Farrell hitting 92.9%, and a couple others hitting 80% too.
Yeah, this team, one thing they pride themselves on is free throw shooting, as that one's missed by Lawson, rebounded there. 20th in the nation for free throws attempted this season at 118, and then 8th in the nation for free throws made at 87. Lawson into the lane finds Frazier. Going into Eigenbohr. Nice finger roll from Frazier.
Very nice finger roll from Frazier. As we look at this replay. Nice pass from Lawson to Frazier in traffic. Puts it up there and it goes in.
Into the lane is nice. She had to put it back down and then stolen away by Frazier. Myroth up to Dansdale and tipped out of bounds. I'm going to say it was off of Dansdale. I thought for sure that was poked away instead by Dunbar. Jen Berg back into the game. So here it's starting lineups minus number 24, Dansdale. Nye coming out for the Maroons and Kokenmeister replacing her. Now Farrell coming up with it. Burt into the lane. Tried to kick it out, but tipped away by Berg. Over to Devin Kyler. Down low to Frazier. Up with the left hand and good. And a timeout for the Maroons as the Thunder now stretch their lead to 10 points.
Yeah, 10 points. And earlier, we're looking at some leaders right now. Kelly Lawson has 9. Maggie Dansdale has 9 as well. And also Hannah Frazier with that last basket is at 8 points. So we have 3 Thunder players almost hitting the double digits with one more basket. So very good offensive so far. And also looking at, if I can find the stat, I was looking at steals. It's been pretty close so far. Okay. Each team both has 5 steals, which I was looking at season stats overall. Steals per game for University of Chicago is 10.8 steals per game. With the Thunder, it's about 11.7. So they're pretty even with that stat so far.
Another thing to keep in mind for the rest of the game, there's no one on this UChicago team that's taller than 5'11". That's actually the average height of the Wheaton College Thunder team this season at 5'11". The Maroons' average height, 5'8", and you see it there. Good finish from Lake over Kyler at 6'2", but Frazier with the initial stop here, and then Kyler unable to get the rebound. Good finish by Lake.
Very nice positioning too for Lake to be able to get the ball.
That one tipped out of bounds after Frazier tried to go up with it. Frazier's open down low, doubled by Lake, gets around her though, and finishes. Here's Farrell, Kokenmeister. Stagnant offense from the Maroons. Now Farrell's driving on Myroth. Blocked by Myroth. And looks like referee might change the call here, as it might have gone off of Farrell's leg. And it did. So the referee nearest to us over here at the media table saw something. The referee under the basket didn't. Change the call. Thunder ball.
Also with that block from Myroth, the Thunder have 4 blocks on this game so far, and the Maroons only have 1.
The Thunder so far averaging 10 blocks per game. That's best in NCAA D3. That one out of bounds. Turnover from Lake. Down low to Lawson, and Thunder turn it right back over. 7 turnovers for the Thunder and 8 for the Maroons so far in this game. Still a 10-point lead for the Thunder. Devin Kyler pokes this one away. Doesn't have support. Stops off the glass.
That was a nice job by Kyler to just poke the ball away, get down the court. Nice, easy 2-point shot.
Here's Burt. Finds a pass out to Kokenmeister. Deep 3-pointer for her, no good. But Jen Berg tipped it away out of bounds. You see here the drive from Devin Kyler after the steal. The ability at 6'2" to be able to take that ball all the way down and then stop on a dime, put that off the glass. That's something a lot of guards can't do at this level very well. Fantastic play from Devin Kyler.
Very nice job. We've seen her being very versatile all around the court. She currently on the season, before this game, she was hitting 625 from 3, 565 altogether. She actually has not yet gone to the free throw line yet, but we've seen her just making shots all around the court. Very versatile play, which is a very great advantage for the Thunder because they can just put her in any position to get a shot.
Down low to Myroth. Off the backboard has been the story of the day for the Thunder. Nice shot from Myroth. Down low to Lake, swatted away by Jill Berg. It was a 2-handed block. You see it here, the pass down to Lake.
That was almost like a volleyball block.
There's Kyler just getting into the body of Marissa Eigenborg. So they'll do it again from the baseline. Same play to Eigenborg. Kokenmeister tipped away from her by Berg. Again, 3 minutes left in the quarter, and the Thunder have 40 points in the game so far. This one's stolen away by Dansdale. Just Burt to beat, gets by her, but wildly off the backboard, and a foul on the rebound by Jill Berg. I didn't actually see that. It was tough to tell from over here if she really made contact on the rebound.
There was a little bit. It was kind of an odd play. Usually don't see by the Thunder. Dansdale was getting down the court. I think she was just going a little bit too fast, and the amount of energy behind the ball didn't allow it to go in.
There's Ola Obi back into the game with 2 fouls. Burt in the corner. Couldn't hit the 3. Devin Kyler called for a travel as Obi just created a little havoc by pushing the ball, and then Kyler on the ground. Obi into the lane. Jumper doesn't go down, rebounded by Jill Berg. Myroth into the lane on Dunbar. Now looks for a pass out to Devin Kyler, top of the key. No good, rebounded by Ola Obi. Another foul on the Thunder underneath on the rebound. This again on Jill Berg. So Jill Berg with 2 fouls in the last minute. She's upset about it, but certainly has to take a seat now as she's too valuable a player to get into foul trouble at this early in the game, especially when you have a player like Hannah Frazier on the bench that you can put right back in.
Yeah, the Thunder have very good depth on their bench just to allow. We've seen different contributions by the Thunder with at least 6 Thunder players scoring at least 4 points in this game so far. So they have faith in multiple players to be able to put the ball down.
Tried to get that one down low to Lake, stolen away by Dansdale, and then thrown out of bounds again by the Thunder, and just an unforced error there from the Thunder, their 9th turnover of the game. Kokenmeister into the lane. Obi goes down underneath. No call, play on. Obi with the ball over to Dunbar. Gets around Lake, up top for 3, hits.
Very nice shot by Tara Lake. There was a little confusion with the Thunder defense and who was supposed to guard her, which allowed her to be open for a 3-pointer.
Dansdale works her way into the lane. Dunbar guarding, rebounded by Dansdale. Now Lawson into the lane, and they're going to get her for a travel as Obi just standing her ground there forced her to take an extra step.
So far, like the past few plays that Thunder have on offense, they've just seemed to be forcing things like a little bit further, more than they should have, with like the little bit too far thrown pass that went out of bounds, 2 balls that were just overshot a little bit more. Just a few things they just need to clean up.
Yeah, certainly care for the ball has not been at a premium so far in this one, as Lake's underneath, couldn't get it to go. Good defense by Myroth, and Lawson never put the ball down and took a couple steps there. Coach Madsen not used to seeing his team turn the ball over this much, as he's verbally upset on the bench. This one over to Obi. Couldn't get it to go, but good clock management, as now the Maroons will get the ball back with at least 10 seconds left to try to get the last shot of the half. Dunbar with the steal. Now up to Burt. She shoots a quick 3. No good. Rebounded underneath and fouled by Van Dusen. It's Kokenmeister going to the line. So far this season, Kokenmeister 5 of 6 from there. Doesn't get the first one. So the Maroons certainly not out of this one, as now it's a 10-point lead for the Thunder, and they'll have the last shot of the half if they want it. Thunder haven't scored in the last 3 minutes. Stuck at 40. Van Dusen kicking out to no one, in fact. No one in the area. Clock's still running, and that was an issue. We'll see if they get it worked out here. They actually don't. Here's Burt. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Extends the arm into the lane. Couldn't get it to go. So a nice even scoreline here, 40-30 at halftime between the Wheaton Thunder and the Chicago Maroons. We'll be right back here in about 13 minutes. I'm Andrew Pitkin alongside Hannah Japp, bringing you this Wheaton Thunder Sports Network broadcast produced by Sunrise Communications.
We believe in one sovereign God, eternally existing in 3 persons, the everlasting Father, His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, and the Holy Spirit, the giver of life.
And we believe that God created the heavens and the earth out of nothing by His spoken word and for His own glory.
We believe that God has revealed Himself and His truth in the created order, in the Scriptures, and supremely in Jesus Christ.
We believe that the Scriptures of the Old and New Testaments are verbally inspired by God and inerrant in the original writing, so that they are fully trustworthy and of supreme and final authority in all they say.
We believe that Jesus Christ was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, was true God and true man, existing in one person and without sin.
We believe in the resurrection of the crucified body of our Lord, His ascension into heaven, and His present life there for us as Lord, High Priest, and Advocate.
We believe that God directly created Adam and Eve, the historical parents of the entire human race. And they were created in His own image, distinct from all other living creatures, and in a state of original righteousness.
We believe that our first parents sinned by rebelling against God's revealed will, and thereby incurred physical and spiritual death. And as a result, all human beings are born with a sinful nature that leads them to sin in word, thought, and deed.
We believe in the existence of Satan, sin, and evil powers, and that these have been defeated by God in the cross of Christ.
We believe that the Lord Jesus Christ died for our sins, according to the Scriptures, as a representative and substitutionary sacrifice, triumphing over all evil, and that all who believe in Him are justified by His shed blood and forgiven of all their sins.
We believe that all who receive the Lord Jesus Christ by faith are born again of the Holy Spirit, and thereby become children of God, and are enabled to offer spiritual worship acceptable to God.
We believe that the Holy Spirit indwells and gives life to believers, enables them to understand the Scriptures, empowers them for godly living, and equips them for service and witness.
We believe that the one holy universal church is the body of Christ and is composed of Christ's people.
The task of Christ's people in this world is to be God's redeemed people, embodying His love by worshiping God with confession, prayer, and praise, by proclaiming the gospel of God's redemptive love through our Lord Jesus Christ to the ends of the earth by word and deed, by caring for all God's creation, by actively seeking the good of everyone, especially the poor and the needy.
We believe in the blessed hope that Jesus Christ will soon return to this earth
personally, visibly, and unexpectedly, in power and great glory, to gather his elect, to raise the dead, to judge the nations, and to bring his kingdom to fulfillment.
We believe in the bodily resurrection of the just and the unjust, the everlasting punishment of the lost, and the everlasting blessedness of the saved.
And the sun was shining as well as it could on the shadowy river, a good part of the shine being caught in the trees. Since about this time last year, painting the Fox River, starting up in West Dundee in the north, we're going to cover all the way down to Ottawa. I hope that it happens at least with one painting I make out of these 60 that, you know, when you look at it, it just leads you. It's heuristic. You know, it wants you to go. It wants you to encounter. I mean, I sometimes think of it as kind of homesickness, you know, where you feel like your identity is out there somewhere else. You're here, but you have this pull, you know, to be somewhere, and it's an ache. In fact, in Gilead, you know, John Ames at some point talks about this town, Gilead, and he says, you know, this town has been wearied a little and then wearied a little more, and yet he says hope is still there. And I mean, that is the thing. Hope isn't the accomplishment. This whole idea of, you know, when is hope important? It's hope that it's important when it's dark, you know, when you can't see. That's when it manifests itself as a possibility. So these paintings aren't about a sort of glorious resolution, but I hope they are something that makes one feel a glimmer of hope for possibilities.
Hi, I'm Abby Yoder. I grew up here in Wheaton, and I transferred to Wheaton College because I wanted to be in a place that would shape me as a learner and as a Christ follower. For me, one of the best parts of Wheaton was my time spent at Honey Rock, Wheaton's campus in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, where students can take classes, serve as camp counselors, and be developed as leaders. Honey Rock was a great place for me to grow in my faith, live out my sense for adventure, and form lifelong friendships. Whether it's Honey Rock or one of the many other ways to connect on campus, I'm excited to help you get a vision for life here at Wheaton.
Hi, I'm Nate Brown. College will be one of the most transformational experiences in your life. My education in the context of a Christian community helps shape the way I live and engage the world around me. I love that Wheaton relates Christian liberal arts to the needs of contemporary society. The classes are designed to combine faith and learning, giving you a biblical perspective that's accessible and applicable. Wheaton students are challenged to answer questions like, what does it mean to live as a Christian doctor, engineer, or business professional? Being in an environment with other students and faculty who are passionate about their faith and serious about their education will help you to know who you are in Christ and prepare you to go wherever He leads you. I look forward to helping you find your way to Wheaton. Talk to you soon.
Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
Good evening and welcome back to this Wheaton Thunder Sports Network broadcast produced by Sunrise Communications. I'm Andrew Pitkin alongside Hannah Japp. Got the Wheaton College Thunder against the UChicago Maroons. So far the score, the Thunder up 40-30 on the Maroons as we're just about to get underway here in the second half.
Looking at some stats from the first half, both teams were shooting fairly well in the first quarter, with the Maroons hitting 50% and the Wheaton Thunder hitting 61.1%.
Devin Kyler hits a three there early on. Good sign for the Thunder, now shooting 3 of 6 from deep in this game.
So the Thunder continuing with their nice shots. In the second quarter, the Thunder hit 42.9%, and the Maroons went down to 16.7% on shooting. So we've seen a little bit of changes happening throughout the game to affect scoring, but so far it's been a really high-scoring game.
Frazier has a jumper there. We did a little digging at halftime. Last season, the Thunder averaged 17.3 three-point attempts per game. This season, so far in the first 3 games, 19.7 three-point attempts, even with the height advantage. But in this game, they've only taken 6 attempts, and they're shooting 50% from there. This one kicked out. Farrell into the lane with a jumper again. Identical shots back-to-back for Farrell, and 4 points early in this second half.
Also, with that bucket from Hannah Frazier earlier, she's the first Wheaton Thunder player to be in the double digits on this game.
Dansdale blocked away by Burt, now pushing the pace the other way. Not too often we see a player rise up higher than Dansdale the way Burt just did. They're going to get Kyler for a kick there. She almost had the steal if that wasn't called.
And looking actually from the first half too, the Thunder turnovers have been a pretty big thing so far, with the Thunder having 13 in the first half, with University of Chicago having 12. But the Thunder have 9 steals on this game so far.
Obi couldn't get that one to go. Now running the floor is Frazier. Kick out to Lawson. Gets the floater to go. Thunder stay hot in this second half so far, shooting 55% from the field on the game. This one in the corner to Kokenmeister, hits. The Maroons getting something going from deep now.
They are. Earlier on in the first half, they usually have a strong suit of shooting threes. They weren't doing as well, only hitting 3 for 13 in the first half from 3. But nice start off with that three-pointer early on in the second half.
Here's Farrell again, but couldn't finish it. Maybe thought a Thunder defender would be closer to her. And out of bounds, I believe that was off of Taylor Lake. So unfortunate play for the Maroons there. Got a missed shot by Dansdale, a rare missed 10-foot jumper. And then Farrell couldn't cut it to single digits with an open layup.
Could also be looking at the fact that with Wheaton Thunder, they have 9, like I said earlier, 9 blocks. So they've been very present underneath the basket, especially. So you have to keep that in mind. They may be coming behind it for a block, especially the height difference.
Lake couldn't get that one to go, but fights for the rebound, and now a jump ball tied up by Jen Berg and Taylor Lake, and possession remains with the Thunder. Just a reminder, directly following this game at 8 o'clock, the Wheaton men will play the UChicago men. Be broadcast by the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. There's a nice take from Ola Obi. Devin Kyler guarded by Lake. Now the pass to Frazier. Farrell wanted it to be called out on Frazier. Frazier shaking her head.
It looked like it might have gone for her foot on the way out.
Early timeout here, as now the score is cut to single digits. The Maroons really with a surge here early in the second half. Just a 9-7 scoring run. You know, it's not much, but anytime you can cut it to single digits, you have a lot more confidence in the game.
Much more confidence, because it was a significant big lead in the first half, but cutting it down gives you a little bit more manageable. Okay, it's only in single digits, so we can make a few more. Only like if you put 2 more baskets in, it gets closer. It's just one basket at a time.
A lot of things are pretty even in this game, except for three-point shooting. The Thunder shooting 50% from there, whereas the Maroons are 4 of 14. Field goal percentage, Thunder hovering at 54-37 for the Maroons, and turnovers 14 for the Thunder and 12 for the Maroons. Here's Frazier. Berg into the lane, flips it up, and one. Well, she didn't have to get off the floor, just extended her left arm forward and remembered the fundamentals to finish that one.
It looked like she was tripped a little bit on the way when she was charging toward the basket, too. Which probably was all in the foul, but she was still able to get the basket, as we look on the replay.
Well, and clearly there, a size advantage going against Farrell. Berg able to get position in the lane and finish. Nice spin move from Obi, but doesn't finish around Frazier. And a good job by Berg to pass that one out of a double team. Kelly Lawson driving on Nye. Obi with the double team. Out to Berg, into the lane again. Doesn't finish this time, rebounded by Obi. And a nice jumper there from Farrell again.
So far in the second half, we have seen the Maroons be more successful further away from the basket than in the first half, which also comes with size difference too. It's a little bit easier to score points further away from the basket because height won't be as big of a difference.
So Ola Obi taking another break here at the 5:43 mark in the third quarter. She's got 7 rebounds on the game and just 4 points. This one down low, Jen Berg couldn't get that one to fall. Probably more easy than the and one that she actually just converted on the last play.
Just didn't get the roll she wanted to go in.
This time can't make the free throw. Miranda Burt back into the game, and Farrell taking a seat. Farrell has been great in this second half, able to pick up 6 points.
Yeah, actually, in the first half, it was mostly Taylor Lake for the Maroons doing most of the points. Now, with the points Mia Farrell scored so far, she has 12 on this game, which is 1 point behind Taylor Lake.
Devin Kyler with yet another block, blocking Lake that time, and now the ball coming the other way as it was rebounded by Eigenborg. Lake into the lane, has it tipped away. Now passed over to Burt. And Devin Kyler again coming up with a steal. Has Frazier down low all alone. Couldn't finish, rebounded by Dansdale back up, no good. Rebounded again by Dansdale and gets it to go down. Third time's the charm.
Third time is the charm. Aggressive effort by the Thunder to keep getting the rebounds. Eventually they were able to score.
There's Nye for 3. Nice shot from her. Number 22, Elizabeth Nye. She's 4th in UChicago career history for 3-point field goals made. There's a charge on Dansdale. I thought that maybe Lake was underneath the basket too far. But in the end, a charge and another turnover by the Thunder.
So it's interesting with basketball because it is so subjective. It's a quick moving game. Some calls like that can go either way.
Yeah, the block charge call, always the toughest in basketball, maybe the toughest in sports. Here comes Dunbar the other way, 8-point lead for the Thunder. Nye outside of that 3-point arc. Eigenborg blocked. We'll see who they get here. It's Jill Berg again, just reaching down. That's her 3rd foul of the game.
Jill Berg has been very aggressive underneath the basket. She's had a few blocks on this game. She has a block on the game, but she's been very involved underneath that basket. Looking at the replay, she was just got a touch of the shooter's hand or arm.
Yeah, all you got to say there is, look, you just put your hands straight up. It's going to be a really tough finish for Eigenborg, just standing at 5'8" compared to 6'2". And they're stopping the clock or going over the scorers table for some reason here to sort something out. 7-point lead for the Thunder, 6-point lead, 52-46, and maybe that's what they were trying to get fixed. Kelly Lawson with one-on-one pressure with Dunbar. Taking it into the lane now, outside. Frazier drives with a hook, couldn't get it to go, and rebounded by Dunbar. Now Nye the other way, switches over to Farrell in the corner, open for three, hits! Nice shot from Mia Farrell.
Very nice shot. There was a lapse in the Thunder's defense because she was very open in the corner.
Down to Dansdale, gets the jumper to go, and that's what the Thunder needed. A good timeout there. You can take the timeout on a high note as well. Really nice job by Coach Madsen to say, I'm going to see what my players can do on this possession. If they make it, I'm going to get a timeout right away before the Maroons throw it in. Now the Thunder able to regroup after making that shot, up by 5.
Yeah, the momentum, when you go in the timeout, you had a positive note, so you have something to drive off of it to go further. Also, just, we never really talked. We talked about blocks a few here and there. The Thunder had 2 so far in the second half, 8 overall. On the season, they average 10 per game, and University of Chicago only averages 2.4 blocks per game, which probably comes from the height difference. But actually, so far in this game, the Maroons have more than their average of 3 blocks.
The story of this second half, I've said it already, but it's been Mia Farrell. To be able to bring this team back. She had 5 points at halftime, added 9 more to that. She's sitting at 14 points, able to put in that 3-pointer. She's 2 of 3 from deep, 2 of 2 from the line, 5 of 10 from the field overall. 1 assist, 1 rebound to add to that. But it's really been the points that she's scored to bring her team back into the game and why she's been such a big part of it.
Yeah, she's a leader on their team. She is second on team, 4 points per game, so they would expect her to score. She just had a slower first half.
Now UChicago with the ball, trying to cut it back to a 1-possession game, down 5. Obi goes one-on-one, stops, shoots too short, and rebounded by Jen Berg. Now Kelly Lawson's going to bring it up. Erica Van Duzen into the game for the Thunder. Dunbar guarding Kelly Lawson. Lawson stopped. Now Frazier has it. Underneath with Obi. Nice post move from Frazier to flip it up.
Very nice move from Frazier. That's a hard shot. Kind of turning around while trying to shoot, being off balance. Nice shot.
Stopped here is O'Hara. Now Obi at the elbow. Takes the jump shot, gets it. 56-51 Thunder. Crucial 2.5 minutes left now in this third quarter. Whoever has the scoring run is going to have control going into the fourth quarter. Dunbar flips it away. Slaps it away, rather. Out of the hands of Kelly Lawson, and a rare turnover from her. Thunder now with 15 turnovers in the game. 15 turnovers in an entire game would probably be something that Coach Madsen wouldn't be too pleased about.
No, because on average, they average 13.3 turnovers per game, and they're already beyond that.
So uncharacteristic, good defense from the Maroons today. But a little bit of carelessness on the side of the Thunder. We've seen many unforced errors today as well. Here's Obi underneath on Frazier. Gets position but can't finish. And rebounded by Myroth. Myroth driving on Dunbar. Passes down low to Dansdale. Partially blocked, but they've got a foul. I believe it's going to be on number 5, O'Hara. Actually, instead, it's number 22, Elizabeth Nye. She's holding her hands out, wondering how that could be a foul on her, and I agree. It was actually O'Hara who had her hand up near the ball. Dansdale hits the first, though. We'll see it here. Myroth driving in, And then I guess you could call Nye for coming across down low on the body.
It could have been the angle, too. There were two players in the position that looks like they could have been a foul.
Dan still missing the second, tried to go for it, but rebounded by Ola Obi rather. Lake again can't score. 13 points in the first half, but none so far after 8.5 minutes in the third quarter. That one missed by Dansdale. San Jewel tipped it out of bounds and couldn't save it. Crucial possession here for the Maroons in the third quarter. There's a foul there underneath. It really looked like Farrell was kind of forcing the issue here.
It did.
Here she is going into the body of Myroth. Looked pretty clean to me, but maybe just leaning over a little too much.
It looked like a clean block to me, but it was an interesting play.
Farrell 3 for 3 from the line today, 15 points. Well, Thunder in an unusual situation here. They've beaten every team so far every game at home, 3-0 at home, but then every game they've won by 17 points or more. Here they find themselves in a 4-point game with UChicago.
Yeah, overall, before this game, their opponents would average 55 points against them. University of Chicago, they average 74.6 points, so they score a little bit more, quite a bit more than their opponents. So, and also looking at individually, a couple players like Mia Farrell and Taylor Lake, they are shooting over their season average so far.
Another foul there. Coach Madsen visibly upset. That looked certainly like a good block from Frazier. The referee's getting a little bit more strict with their foul calls. Lake puts that one in, cuts it to 5. That's Lake's first point of the second half. She's able to get another one. 15 points for her, 15 and 16 for herself and Farrell.
Looking at fouls so far, the Thunder have 9 and the Maroons have 10 on fouls. So I'm going to guess a lot of those fouls are coming from blocks, which the Thunder have 9 so far in this game too. So when you're going for a block, there is that chance you could get fouled.
Jordan Myroth into the lane, couldn't finish. Offensive rebound from San Jewel. Down low to Frazier. Obi reaches in and called for the foul. Obi's third personal foul of the game. Now Frazier at the line with the clock stopped. We'll have 2 free throws. Makes the first. See here down low the pass to Frazier, and Obi just leaning with one hand in a little bit too much. Lake with the rebound, 10 seconds left, and Farrell knows it. 8 seconds now. Cutting Devin Kyler with the switch. Gets around her and one. Fireworks at the end of the third quarter for the UChicago Maroons. And have yourself a quarter, Miss Farrell. 18 points on the game. Of course means 13 points in this quarter alone, and she can make it 14 right here.
Very much so. In the first half, she only had 5 points. So she's turned this on in the second half so far. It's only third quarter actually itself.
Well, at halftime it was a 10-point lead for the Thunder. Now just a 2-point lead, 60-58 in favor of the Thunder. We talked about how UChicago shows up for these ranked team games, 6-4 the last 2 years against ranked teams with a plus 81 point differential. in their favor, that means that they're usually, in those 6 games that they're winning by a lot, 20, 30 points. But usually the games that they're losing are these close games against ranked opponents. So we'll see if they're able to kind of break that streak and come out on top here in the 4th quarter.
And they know how to fight. Honestly, that second quarter was kind of an outlier in this game because I'm curious to see what the 3rd quarter stats are going to be. We have been talking about Mia Farrell quite a bit. I mean, she has 19 points in this game, and 14 have come in the 3rd quarter alone. So she leads all players in points. Taylor Lake has 15. And then the Thunder, we have Maggie Dansdale with 14 points and Hannah Frazier with 13, Kelly Lawson with 11. And we have quite a few Thunder players having contributed points to this game, which has allowed them to keep this lead, even though University of Chicago has the top 2 leading scorers.
Well, we talked about how the Maroons were going to have to turn things around in the 3rd quarter, and my goodness, did they. With Farrell, of course, only shot 3 of 18 from the field in the 2nd quarter. That's 16.7%.
Yeah, because we just got the stats for the 3rd quarter. 52.9% they were shooting in the 3rd quarter, which is significantly better.
There's a miss for the Thunder to start off the 4th, and now Burt driving into the game. Kelly Lawson tips that one out of bounds.
Interesting enough for the Thunder, they shot 47.1%, which is a little bit better than their 2nd quarter. So they are still staying fairly well. It's just the Maroons have turned it up more.
Kick over to Farrell. Now out to Lake, pump fake. Over to Farrell again. She finds herself open for a jumper. Couldn't get that one to go. Rebounded by Obi, her 9th board of the game. Dunbar into the lane, and a kickball violation with 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Obi. Down to Dunbar, and she didn't re-establish position after stepping out of bounds. So a turnover for the Maroons. Saw 12 turnovers for the Maroons and 13 for the Thunder in the 1st half. But just 2 more for the Thunder, 15 now, and 1 more for the Maroons in that 3rd quarter. That one rebounded by Obi, now her 10th board into double figures for rebounds on this game. It looked like she got nicked in the head by Lawson, but she's playing on. Stagnant offense again from the Maroons. She's going at Frazier and is able to finish. Really nice take on Frazier with the fadeaway.
Very nice. Also looking at, we've seen notice a little bit more that they have been able, for the Maroons, been able to score from the 3 a few more times. A few longer shot jump balls.
Appears there's a blocking call here. Kelly Lawson going into the body of Farrell. We see it here on the replay, and her back foot was very close to that inner circle. And maybe that's the call by the referee as he's having a conversation with the U Chicago coach. Lawson at the line, unable to hit the first. Back into the game is Jill Berg. She's playing with 3 fouls here in this 4th quarter. And back in for the Maroons is Elizabeth Nye replacing Farrell. She's got 4 fouls on the game. So they're going to save her now in this tie 60-60 game here. Another rebound from Obi. She's got the last 3 rebounds for the Maroons. And Lawson 0 for 2 from the line there. Lake into the lane, stripped away, and a foul. The Maroons really finding their way to the free throw line in this 2nd half.
They certainly are, and I think they like it that way because they are very efficient with multiple players shooting over 800.
Lake unable to make the first. Perfect 7 of 7 in the 3rd quarter from the line, where the Maroons now 1 of 2 in the 4th.
Actually, correction, looking at 10 players are shooting at least 500 from the free throw line.
This one to Berg. She finds herself open for a jumper, gets it.
Nice choice by Joe Berg. I think the Maroons were expecting her to pass it, but then she decides to take the shot.
Joe Berg takes the lead there. The Thunder were down momentarily, now up 62-61. Obi into the lane, finishes. Advantage UChicago. Now Lawson. Over to Dansdale, gets by her defender, finishes. Back and forth they go, Wheaton back in front.
Back and forth. Also, with Obi, she only had 2 points in the first half, and so far in this game, she has 10, which means 8 points have come from the second half.
Dunbar down to Burton. She didn't establish position either. Similar to the play we saw with Dunbar earlier, you can run out of bounds when you're cutting, but before you touch the ball, you need to make sure you establish 2 feet back in bounds to be able to touch it and possess it again. So 2 careless turnovers for the Maroons there. Leading scorer in this game with 19 points. That's UChicago's Farrell, still on the bench. Dansdale down low, couldn't finish it. Rebound by Eigenborg.
Yeah, but the turnovers on this game altogether for both teams, they have 30 turnovers that happen and 15 going to each team.
And a finish there from Lake. It's like we're watching a boxing match.
Just going back and forth.
Down low to Bird. The Thunder back up by 1. I believe that's about 7 lead changes within the last 2 minutes. Eigenborg, and they're going to get her for a travel. She was bumped, certainly, by Berg, but good defensive position. Ball down low. Myroth finds Berg. Well, Thunder now with possession, trying to extend the lead for either team by more than 1 point for the first time in the last couple minutes. Switch here to Devin Kyler. Into the lane, down low to Lawson. Couldn't get the and 1 to go.
Just a little bit overshot that, but she has a chance to get 2 points from the line.
Kelly Lawson from the free throw line today, 0 for 4. See if she can get her first made free throw of the game here. And she does, 1 for 5 on the day. Back into the game is Ola Obi for Eigenborg. And Obi, a strong presence down low with 11 rebounds on the game.
Yeah, there are some reasons why this game is so close. There are similarities with rebounds per game, 44.2 for the Maroons and 42 for the Thunder, and steals are pretty similar too.
Nye with the jumper. Did the pump fake and then stepped inside the 3-point arc. Able to hit. Myroth down low to Berg on Obi. Kicks out to Kyler. She shoots a 3. Hit! Devin Kyler for 3 with a tie game. Now the Thunder up by 3.
Very nice shot by Devin Kyler from the top of the key. That's her second 3-pointer in the game. She's hitting 66.7 for 3, 71.4 overall in this game.
Devin Kyler now with the steal, and she was fouled from behind by Taylor Lake.
And that's also her 4th steal on this game.
Here's the 3-pointer from Devin Kyler. That's probably one where Coach Madsen's over there saying, no, 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 and then sees it go in and says, yes, yes, yes. Devin Kyler certainly has been shooting very well from 3-point range on the season.
Very well.
But also with the height advantage, you'd look for a better shot there oftentimes. Berg fouled underneath. And that's Ola Obi with the foul.
Jill seemed very surprised by that ball coming back in her face, almost. I don't know if it went back in her face, but
I didn't see that.
She just went down the ground, like, what just happened?
Well, Obi now with 4 fouls on the game. She was very visibly upset
Actually, Obi has fouled out once earlier on this season, too.
They're going to take her out now. Don't think she'll be sitting too long. Also think you'd see Farrell back into the game pretty soon for UChicago, even though both of them have 4 fouls. It's a game where you're down by 4 and you need players to get you back in, and those are your 2 best players on the bench right now.
Well, also Taylor Lake is still in this game, who currently has 18 points on the game.
Down low to Lake, kick out now, and hits a 3. Number 34, Jamie Kokenmeister. 71-70 in favor of the Thunder.
Yeah, she's hitting very well from 3. She has 10 points. She has 3 3-pointers, hitting 75%.
And Lawson makes that one, pushes it to a 3-point Thunder lead. Out to Lake, she's got a 3-point shot, hits it! Taylor Lake with her first, actually second, 3-point bucket of the day. 2 of 3 from there, and another tie game.
We're seeing back-to-back 3-pointers. So Maroons haven't established in their 3-point game so far in this second, in the 4th and 3rd quarter.
Turnover there. Now the ball with Dunbar. Lake up top, driving in, stolen away. Kicked out to Nye. Now down low, and a timeout. Good timeout there by the Maroons to regroup and really find a shot that you want to get here. 73-73. Also might be a substitution timeout. We might see Farrell and Ola Obi back into the game. I don't think she would be sitting very much longer in this one. You've got a tie game, and you've got a chance to knock off the number 23 team in the nation at their home court.
Yeah, actually earlier in the season, the Maroons were ranked 23 as well, so they and the Thunder are very evenly matched. Also, if I want 2 players in the court, I want Mia Farrell and Taylor Lake for the Maroons, because with that last 3-pointer from Taylor Lake, she has 21 points on the game, which is the only player so far to be hitting at least 20 points. But we have seen a very evenly distribution. Well, not evenly, but we've seen like some good points from Hannah Frazier with 13, Maggie Dansville with 16, Kelly Lawson 14, Devin Kyler with 12. We've seen the ball being distributed to many Thunder players, and they have scored.
Farrell back into the game as we predicted. Now Lake driving. Out to Nye for 3. Too short, rebounded by Kyler. Now Lawson looking for Frazier down low. Gets it to her, pass to Dansdale, going up, blocked by Kokenmeister. Kick out to Jen Berg, stop and pop. Too long, rebounded by Farrell. Farrell, of course, playing with 4 fouls out there, forcing the issue, and she's fouled. Going to the line with 3:10 remaining in a tie game.
These 2 points right here are key for Farrell. She currently is hitting 100% from the free throw line, and still doing so.
Here you see the drive and goes to the side of Devin Kyler, and Devin Kyler kind of trips her up there even though she's standing still. Farrell misses. That's the broadcaster's curse there. First miss free throw for Farrell on the game. Dansdale driving, met by Farrell. Kick out to Lawson. She's open for 3. Too long, and tipped out of bounds by Frazier.
Frazier looked like she was going for the rebound to get the ball, just trying to poke away, maybe be able to grab the ball, but it ended up going out of bounds.
Into the lane is Farrell. Hung on the rim, didn't go down, rebounded by Lake. Kicked into the corner to Farrell. Now Lake driving into the lane, and she's fouled by Frazier.
There's also a nice place by Taylor Lake with her. She's 5'10", so, and also with a nice vertical. She was the first one to get up there after the ball hit the rim to get the rebound, and also has a chance to score a point at least.
Well, Farrell's previous career high was 17 points, but now she's got 20 in this one, breaking that. And Taylor Lake, her career high all the way up to 23 points. So a couple of players really giving their team a boost. That one turned over by the Thunder again. Now the other way, and the crowd getting involved a little bit more now. That one partially blocked down low to Obi. Couldn't get the putback to go. Rebounded by Lawson. She tries to strip the ball away, tied up by Dunbar. And the jump ball possession arrow, giving the ball to the Maroons.
That's very key. And so far, with less than 2 minutes in the whole game itself, if you want to score, you need to have the ball.
Hard to find a player open, gets it in to Miranda Burt. Now if you're the Maroons here, you just want to work for a good shot. That one tipped by Dansdale. Burt passes over to Lake. Kick out to Dunbar. Thought about the three, then drove. Lake flipped it up, didn't go. Obi is fouled from behind. How many times have we seen that down the stretch? A Thunder player reaching in as the Maroon is going up, and now Obi at the free throw line.
We've seen it happen very many times. 13 personal fouls so far in this game for the Thunder.
Obi can't convert the first one. That's key, as now she allows it to be a one-possession game even if she makes this second free throw. The Thunder 9 of 18 from the free throw line in this game. That's points left on the court that they could have right now.
Yeah, and the Maroons haven't taken advantage of it. They have 16 for 21 from the free throw line today, and that's shooting about 76.2%, and the Thunder only shooting 50.
UChicago outscoring the Thunder by 13 points in this second half. Thunder still shooting the better field goal percentage, 50%. But UChicago with the lead. Coach Madsen takes a timeout here. Just going to try to draw something up. See if he can get a bucket in. You don't need the three-point shot yet, obviously. Still over a minute to play. You just need to get a basket in and then play tough defense and get a stop.
Also looking at three-point attempts for both teams. Even though in the first half, the Maroons struggled to get three-pointers, in the second half, overall in this game, they're 8 for 20 from 3, and the Thunder are 4 for 8. So even though there's a higher field goal percentage for the Thunder, I think the points that the Maroons are making more are bigger ones, also coming from the free throw line too.
Here's a steal from the Maroons on the inbounds. Dunbar going the other way, tipped away by Myrov. So the Thunder get a break there as they had turned it over. Dansdale down low, and they're going to get her for a travel. She was doubled down low and couldn't get it passed away in time. Now the Maroons going to look for the best shot they can possibly find. Not too worried about the clock. Farrell by Dansdale, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Obi, but it didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock did not reset. 13 seconds. Burt into the lane. Obi didn't put it up. Kick out to Dunbar. Wide open for three. Got it. Maroons up by 6 now. The Thunder really need a basket.
And that shot from Dunbar, that's her first few points in the game.
Dansdale for 3. Hits. Maggie Dansdale matches the three-point bucket. And this game continues to deliver the excitement as another timeout is taken by the Thunder, this time a full timeout.
Nice shot, cross-court pass. Dansdale, nice shot. She's currently 2 for 2 from 3 points from the three-point mark with 19 points in this game.
Maggie Dansdale continuing her hot start to the season coming into this game. She was averaging 14.7 points per game. Now she's got 19. And for UChicago, 34.5 seconds left on the clock. You can run quite a bit down here. Be interesting to see if Coach Madsen elects to foul.
I think we'll see what strategy Madsen wants to have the Thunder run. I'm also curious to see what the Maroons will be doing too as well, because they have obviously made adjustments in this game since halftime.
I believe that in NCAA Division III women's basketball, if you call a timeout before advancing the ball, you get to throw it in on your side of the court. So if the Thunder have a timeout left, they'll probably get the rebound after this, have about 5 seconds, and just take a timeout right away, and then you're just looking for a three-point shot. But that's allowing 30 of 35 seconds to run off the clock, so it's a really tough decision. As we've got another timeout by UChicago to try to draw up. After they saw what type of personnel went out for Wheaton, they want to know what type of play they want to draw up, who they want to get it to.
Exactly. Matchups are key in basketball. That's height, size, how a person's shooting. Looking if the Wheaton do get the ball, have the ball. If we need a three-pointer, so I'll probably be surprised if Devin Kyler gets it or Maggie Dansdale does. Because Devin Kyler's two three-pointers in the game. Maggie Dansdale's 2 for 2.
Now we see it here. UChicago took the timeout, so the ball advanced all the way from their side of the court, or the Wheaton side of the court, to theirs. And if I'm UChicago, I'm going to get this one in to Mia Farrell, shooting over 93% on the year from the free throw line. She's guarded. Burt has it tipped away, stolen by Dansdale, and a foul on Lake. Not sure I saw that there, and it's 1-and-1 free throw shooting for Dansdale. Lake's still holding the ball, and she was in front of the UChicago bench, and pretty surprised that foul was called. Looked like she got the ball. Either way, Dansdale, the senior, the couple of crucial free throws, down 3. Gets the first one to go. And it's not 1-and-1, it was my mistake. She actually has 2 shots, so she was able to relax on the first. Misses the second rebound by Obi, and an immediate timeout from UChicago to advance the ball to the other side of the court. So the Thunder are able to get 1 point back, but not anymore. As we talked about, free throw shooting has been a struggle for the Thunder today.
It's been a struggle so far with, even though that last one they were up to 52.6 on the free throw line. Those are points that you are just given with not anybody interfering so much. So it is key. But also with that free throw made, it is down to you need a two-point shot to tie it versus a three-pointer, which is a little bit still stressful, but not as bad. So it gives you more options.
Big story in this one. UChicago winning the rebound margin in the second half was when they really got it. Got a +10 rebound margin on a team with an average height that's 3 inches more than theirs. Pretty impressive. Of course, no surprise that it's Ola Obi leading the charge with 16 boards on the game and 11 points for a double-double.
Yeah, that's insane with 16 rebounds.
Here's Nye looking for an option, and another timeout taken by UChicago. So the Thunder, with very good defense, got the foul last time on the inbounds, and then there forcing UChicago to take yet another timeout.
This is definitely a tight game.
Yeah, sometimes this is the way it is. You know, you got 35 seconds left, and it takes your whole life.
Hey, it makes it very interesting, very exciting.
We'll just be happy at this level that we don't have, you know, they can't go to the monitor for instant replay on out of bounds and stuff like that, because that's what really lengthens some of those Division I games.
It does. Sometimes they also take a commercial break during them too.
Oh, they take plenty of commercial breaks. We're here all the time. Everybody gets to hear us, so they love it. 22 points for Taylor Lake, 20 points for Farrell. Also want to take this opportunity to remind you that the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network will be broadcasting the Wheaton men playing the UChicago men in basketball right here. Should start at 8 o'clock unless we have a little bit of overtime. Now 7:38. be interesting to see how much warm-up time they actually give them. That game will probably get going a little bit after 8 o'clock is my guess, but still nonetheless right here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Dunbar to throw it in. Good defense from the Thunder. Nye able to get it, and you got a foul, and they do. So Myroth fouls Nye, going to the line. Elizabeth Nye this season 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Solid 80%, but not a lot of opportunities. Gets the first one to go, the senior out of Chicago. Now this one, the more important one, to push it to a 2-possession game. Gets it as well. Didn't take much time there, just stepped up and hit him.
Pretty much. I have a feeling that's what University of Chicago does in every practice, because they hit 73.7%. And we've also seen that going into this game too.
Ball over to Lawson, tipped away by Farrell. The clock's still running down, and stolen away by Dunbar. Thunder need to foul now. Lawson gets to Farrell, the 90% free throw shooter, with a chance to extend this game, and the clock kept running a little bit after that. We'll see if they get that problem fixed. Clock's showing 10.6 right now, and I guess that's where it will remain. Farrell makes the first 5-point game, and that just not very good offense from the Thunder, not able to get anything going. That one missed, but rebounded by Obi. Now you have to foul again. UChicago is just going to dribble this one out. And UChicago, the Maroons, come into King Arena and upset the Wheaton Thunder, number 23 team in the nation. UChicago able to finish out a close game against a ranked opponent for the first time in a couple years. And what a game they played here.
What a game. I mean, at halftime they were down by 10. Coming into the second half, they made adjustments. Nice performance by Gia Farrell to step it up. They won the rebound match with 44 rebounds to Wheaton's 33. Wheaton did win the blocks with 10 blocks to 3 blocks for University of Chicago. Personal fouls, there were 16 for each team. Turnovers are also a big one too. Also points off turnovers. Each team had 17 going off each turnover. And then we had 2 players from University of Chicago had over 20 points. Maggie Dansel was also over 20 she had 20 points herself.
Well, UChicago coming in here with a great victory for them. Now moved to 4-2 on the season. The Thunder now with their first loss, 3-1. They will next be in action here on Saturday. That's December 2nd against Milliken at 5 o'clock.
Which also would be their first conference game on the year.
So the Thunder had won 26 home games in a row before dropping here. Last time they lost at home, November 24th of 2015 against Hope College. They weren't able to pull this one out here, and UChicago, give them credit, did a great job. Now both men's teams getting ready. And in 25 minutes, looked like it showed on the clock. We'll be right back for that broadcast. It will be Nate Stein and Caleb Springer's back from vacation. So it's good to have him back on the color, so I'm not doing both games with Nate Stein, but should be a good one. I'll certainly be tuning into that one. Got a little studying. You know, we're getting down to the time where...
Only a few weeks left in the semester.
Yeah, I mean, we've got midterms, we've got papers, we've got all that stuff. So I'm out of here. I'm going to listen to the game, but I'm out of here. For Hannah Japp, I'm Andrew Pitkin. You've been listening to the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Wheaton Thunder lose their first game of the season, now dropped to 3-1. 82-77 the win for the Chicago Maroons. Thank you to Sunrise Communications for putting this one on for us for now. So long.